Worms. Joe G. What's up, you guys? The Clown. The Clown has some serious history. Serious history on that Clown. Peace to the crew. Appreciate that, Joe G. Yeah, that's what's going on. So I appreciate you guys tolerating that. But yeah, Worms, that's what I'm doing. Trying to do it at night so it doesn't bother everybody. Yes. The Clown is the star of the show. Clownie McClownerson. Yeah, you got that right, Worms. I try not to bother people with it or discuss it, you know what I mean? But that's exactly what it is. So there you go. For those of you tuning in, Worms ciphered it. He figured it out. Oh yeah, when I started Worms, I could have been monetized, and I chose not to be because at the time, I really wanted YouTube to be a free platform. We're talking back in the day. I've been at it a long time. And I wanted it to be a free platform the way it was, but inevitably it's not meant to be that. Inevitably, this was always meant to be monetized. And without me even knowing it, man, people were just, making money off of the same shit I was doing. You know what I mean? It's almost like Walmart. There was a time I wouldn't shop there because I was all about the local businesses and stuff. But inevitably, look what happened. Look what happened. When I was a kid, my grandpa told me to buy American. Now, if people had just stuck with American-made products, we wouldn't be in that mess. But when a lady has $100 for Christmas, right, and that's all she has, she's going to Walmart and she's going to get as much as she can for her family, no matter where the stuff is made. But we all knew. Ross Perot told us in 1992 at the town hall debate. Here they were. Clinton, America had no deficit at the time and was experiencing the dot-com boom, so everyone's parents were making money. Yes. We do those space streams on Wednesdays, Fridays, and Sundays. Thank you. The story behind the clowns are amazing, actually. Long story short, I bought these clowns as gifts for my coworkers, and neither of them liked the clowns, and they both gave them back to me. That's why I have these clowns. They were unwanted. Like, I gave them as a gift, and my coworkers didn't want these. And so, between the two clowns, I think I probably paid around $400. So these clowns, there was a place called the Clown Museum. I think it was in Winter Haven, Florida. And I went in there and I asked him for his two ugliest clowns, and he was insulted. The old man, I think, is dead now, and the Clown Museum is closed. That's how I got these clowns. I asked him for his two ugliest clowns at the Clown Museum. And he made me pay, man. He made me pay hundreds of dollars each on these clowns. And then I boxed them up real pretty, like the nicest boxes with bows and everything. Gave them to my coworkers, and you should have seen their face when they opened it up and saw the cloud. Thank you, Kathy H. So I think it was like either on my birthday or whatever. Both these clowns came back to me. And that's okay. I think we're going to send one of the clowns to Sherry. She likes clowns. So I think we're going to send one of these to Sherry. Yeah. Yeah, this one's very unique. I like this clown. I really do. But it's grown on me. But maybe Sherry deserves it. She's been such a good friend. And if she appreciates the clown, then that's where it should be. I would send her both, but I might have some regret. These clowns have grown on me, man. Anyway, so that's what's going on with these streams. No, I didn't see the Town of Dolls. I did see your stream. I stopped by and hit the like, Robot. You got a lot of ads on your streams now, man. They got ads all over your stuff. I hope you're getting paid on that. They got ad over ad over ad. They got ads. Gosh. Okay. Oh, they did? That's cool. I've been watching Woo, who's in South Korea right now. So I've been watching a little South Korea content. There's a guy named Adam the Woo. Trisha knows Woo. He's a local guy who now travels. He used to do a lot of Disney stuff. But he's local when he's in town. He does a lot of traveling. Oh, yeah, the ads are crazy, Robot. Your ads have like chat halfway down the page. You got to refresh the video to get rid of that. It's intense, Robot. The ads. Yeah, the Daily Woo, yeah. Yeah, I've been watching Woo. He's in South Korea. Oh, yeah. Dude, Woo is amazing. He made it, bro. You want to talk about someone that made it? It's one of the reasons I considered monetizing is, the guy's making a living. I have a few ideas that I'm ready to put in place, and I want to be monetized to do it. Something's doing it, Robot. You got to check yourself. Check your channel outside of, like, on a different channel. You know what I mean? So you can see it raw. I'm not just talking about the ads that play before you come up. I mean, they're literally shoving ads in place of chat. It's kind of wild. Okay, yeah. I always try to check mine too. Because you never really know. I mean, a pro's going to check his stuff, right? I mean, you got to, or else, Yeah, Robot, it was crazy today when I went in there. Listen, to me, however you make a living, right? I mean, if you're getting the revenue, then I'm all for it, Robot. I'm all for it, man. Oh. Well, I enjoyed the mechanic stream this morning. I guess old Jogger came in. Now, Jogger is an old school IP2. I think it's different than our community, IP2. And big differences there. But I get it. I get it. I want to call OM if I can, so we can talk about it. Oh, the Zeb show. Oh, okay. The clown is answering all questions. What's going on, ETC? No one has questions for the clown? The clown demanded airtime. What can I tell you? Oh, it's Pebs? Oh, my lord, girl. What's up? Where you been, Pebs? I was thinking about you. What's going on? Is this your man's channel that you came in on? I should sub up. Oh my god. Six in here just says what? Let me get out of that. Alright, let's get right into this. Welcome to the reading of Chomp by Carl Hyacin. Chomp. This is a work of fiction. Names, characters, places, and incidents either are the product of the author's imagination or used fictitiously. Any resemblance to actual persons, living or dead, events or locals, is entirely coincidental. Chapter 1. Mickey Cray had been out of work ever since a dead iguana fell from a palm tree and hit him on the head. The iguana, which had died during a hard freeze, was stiff as a board and weighed 7.5 pounds. Mickey's son had measured the lifeless lizard on a fishing scale, then packed it on ice with turtle veggies in the cooler behind the garage. This was after the ambulance had hauled Mickey off to the hospital, where the doctors had said he had a serious concussion and ordered him to take it easy. To everyone's surprise, Mickey did take it easy. That's because the injury left him with double vision and terrible headaches. He lost his appetite and dropped 19 pounds and laid around on the couch all day, watching nature programs on television. "I'll never be the same," he told his son. "Aw, knock it off, Pop," said Wahoo, Mickey's boy. Mickey had named him after Wahoo McDaniel, professional wrestler, who once played a linebacker for the Dolphins. Mickey's son often wished he had been called Mickey or Junior or Joe or even Rupert or anything but Wahoo, which was also a species of saltwater fish. It was a name that was hard to live up to. People naturally expected someone called Wahoo to act loud and crazy, but that wasn't Wahoo's style. Apparently nothing could be done about the name until he was all grown up, at which point he is intended to go to the Cutler Ridge courthouse and tell the judge he wanted to be called something normal. "Pop, you're going to be okay," Wahoo would tell his father every morning. "Just hang in there." Looking up with hound dog eyes from the couch, Mickey Cray would say, "Whatever happens, I'm glad we ate that blinking lizard." On that day his dad had come home from the hospital, Wahoo had defrosted the dead iguana and made it a peppercorn stew, which his mom had wisely refused to touch. Mickey had insisted on eating the critter that had dented the skull and would be spiritual remedy. Big medicine, he'd predicted. But the iguana had tasted awful, and Mickey Cray's headaches only got worse. Wahoo's mother was so concerned that she wanted Mickey to see a brain specialist in Miami, but Mickey refused to go. Meanwhile, people kept calling up with new jobs, and Wahoo was forced to send them to other wranglers. His father was in no condition to work. After school, Wahoo would feed the animals and clean out pens and cages. The backyard was literally a zoo: gators, snakes, parrots, mynah birds, rats, mice, monkeys, raccoons, tortoises, even a bald eagle, which Mickey had raised from a fledgling after its mother was killed. All right, let's see if people are still here. Surf is an e-beggar? Okay. Can the clown tell us fortune? Yes. Let me know if you want more of that book. I love the story, man. I just love that Chomp by Carl Hyacin. It's available on audiobook. I suggest you listen to it. It's a wonderful story. Let me get my head straight real quick. South Korea, by the way. I'm gonna work on this audio anyway. Well, thank you. Yeah, yeah. I like to write too. I like to write what I read. Actually, that's the ideal thing. Started as theater of the mind. Theater of the mind. The potential in this platform is incredible. What we've done so far. What I've is just drinking that matters and shit. I mean, come on, that was a joke within itself. Drinking that matters, or a show. We can review where we talk about you. Come on, man, that's like the craziest shit ever. We had good times, man. I released a lot of that. I have 2 more years to release, but it doesn't go to my hours, so I don't want to bombard you guys. But I am going to release it, and I do appreciate you guys putting up with these streams like this. I know it's not the best, but there's better things coming. And it's just a part of the process right now. And frankly, I know a lot of streamers who had wonderful overnight streams. Like Robot Man used to do it. It was wonderful. Everyone enjoyed it. The church used to do it. We all, a lot of people did it. That's how I learned it. We embraced it and enjoyed it. That was a place where we all came in and used the chat. But yeah, that's I need to see. Oh, oh yeah, that's what I was blessed. I'm good at some things and not good at others. This gets good. All right. Thank you for putting up with me. Oh. 3, yeah, 3 is a magic number. Oh, yes, it is. Somewhere in the ancient Trinity, you found 3. Or something like Sunfish. Hitting the like button. Sad and JoJo. 3, yeah, 3. It's a magic number. Oh, yes, it is. Schoolhouse Rock. Knowledge is power. Now let's get back to the book, everybody. Treat them like royalty, Mickey would instruct Wahoo, because the animals were quite valuable. Without them, Mickey would be unemployed. It's disturbed Wahoo since his father so ill because Mickey was the toughest guy he'd ever known. One morning, with summer approaching, Wahoo's mother took him aside and told him that the family savings account was almost drained. I'm going to China, she said. Wahoo nodded like it was no big deal. For 2 months, she said. That's a long time, said Wahoo. Sorry, big guy, but we really need the money. Wahoo's mother taught Mandarin Chinese, an extremely difficult language. Big American companies that officed in China would hire Mrs. Prey to tutor their top executives, but usually these companies flew their employees to South Florida to Mrs. Prey's lessons. This time they want to go to Shanghai, she explained to her son. They have like 50 people over there who learn Mandarin from some cheap audio tape. The other day, one of the big shots was trying to say, nice shoes, and he accidentally told a government minister that his face looked like butt wart. Not good. Did you tell Pop you're going? That's next. Wahoo slipped outside to clean Alice's pond. Alice, the alligator, was one of Mickey Cray's stars. She was 12 feet long and as tame as a guppy, but she looked truly ferocious. Over the years, Alice had appeared often in front of the camera. Her credits include 9 feature films, 2 National Geographic documentaries, a 3-part Disney special about the Everglades, and a TV commercial for Fancy French skin lotion. She lay sunning on the mud bank while Wahoo skimmed the dead leaves and sticks from the water. Her eyes were closed, but Wahoo knew she was listening. Hungry, girl? He asked. The gator's mouth opened wide, the inside as white as a spun cotton. Some of her teeth were snaggled and chipped. The tips were green from pond algae. You forgot to floss, Wahoo said. Alice hissed and went to get some of her food. When she heard the squeaking of the wheelbarrow, she cracked her eyelids and turned her huge armored head. Wahoo tossed a whole plucked chicken into the alligator's gaping jaws. The sound of her crunching on the thawed bird obscured the voices coming from the house. Wahoo's mother and father discussing the China trip. Wahoo fed Alice 2 more dead chickens, locked the gate to the pond, and took a walk. When he returned, his father was upright on the sofa, and his mother was in the kitchen fixing bologna sandwiches for lunch. You believe this? Mickey said to Wahoo. She's bugging out on us. Pop, we're broke. Mickey's shoulders slumped. Not that broke. You want the animals to starve? Wahoo asked. They ate their sandwiches, barely speaking a word. When they were done, Mrs. Cray stood up and said, I'm going to miss you guys. I wish I didn't have to go. Then she went into the bedroom and shut the door. Mickey seemed dazed. I used to like iguanas. We'll be okay. My head hurts. Take your medicine, said Wahoo. I threw it away. What? Those yellow pills make me constipated. Wahoo shook his head. Unbelievable. Seriously, I haven't had satisfactory bowel movement since Easter. Thanks for sharing, said Wahoo. He started loading the dishwasher, trying to keep his mind off the fact that his mom was about to fly away to the far side of the world. Mickey got up and apologized to his son. I'm just being selfish. I don't want her to go. Me neither, Pop. The following Sunday, they all rose before dawn. Wahoo lugged his mother's suitcases to the waiting taxi. She had tears in her eyes, and she kissed him goodbye. Take care of your dad, she whispered. Then to Mickey she said, I want you to get better. That's an order, mister. What? Madness is here? The Bees is here? McGriff is here? Where's the old guy with the weed and the booze? Much love. The cloud is answering all questions. The cloud reads a book. You like Chomp so far? I love this story, Chomp. You want another page? Are you guys getting all the references in the story? Okay, hey Zed, what's up? Don't forget to hit the like. At 20 likes, we're taking the clown's pants off. Uh, thank you, thank you. Nah, no, no, no luck tonight. No luck tonight. Can you imagine? I need some luck. You know what I mean? I need some luck. Can we talk about it? Can the clown answer this? All right, let me read one more page. Let's see what's going on with these characters. All right. Watching the cab speed off, Wahoo's father looked forlorn. It's like she's leaving us twice, he remarked. What are you talking about, Pop? I'm seeing double, remember? There she goes, and there she goes again. Wahoo was in no mood for that. You want eggs for breakfast, Pop? Afterward, he went out to the backyard to deal with a troublesome howler monkey named Jocko, who picked the lock on his cages, now leaping around, pestering parents and macaws. Wahoo had been careful because Jocko was mean. He used a tangerine to lure the surly primate back to his cage, but Jocko still managed to sink a dirty fang into one of Wahoo's hands. I told you to wear the canvas gloves, scolded Mickey, when Wahoo was standing at the sink cleaning the wound. You don't wear gloves, Wahoo pointed out. Yeah, but I don't get chomped like you do. That's hogwash. Mickey got chomped all the time. It was an occupational hazard. His hands were so scarred that they looked fake, like rubber Halloween props. The phone rang and Wahoo picked it up. His father weaved back to the couch and flipped through the TV stations until he found the Rainforest channel. Who was that calling? He asked when Wahoo came out of the kitchen. Another job, Pop. You send him to Stiggy? Jimmy Stigmore was an animal wrangler who had ranched up in Davie. Mickey Craig wasn't crazy about Stiggy. No, I didn't, Wahoo said. His father frowned. Then who'd you send him to? Not Dander. Don Dander had lost his wildlife importing license after he got caught smuggling 38 rare tree frogs from South America. The frogs had been cleverly hidden in his underwear, but the adventure ended in an embarrassment at the Miami airport, where the customs officer noticed that Donnie's pants were chirping. Who said I didn't send him to Dander either? I didn't send him anywhere. Okay, now you lost me, said Mickey. I said we'd take the job. I said we could start next week. Are you crazy, boy? Look at me. I can't even see straight. I can hardly walk. My skull's about to split open like a rotten pumpkin. Pop. What? I said we. Wahoo reminded him, you and I together. But that's about school. Friday's the last day, then I'm done for the summer. Already, Wahoo's dad kept up with Wahoo's academic schedule as closely as his mother did. So who called about the job? All right, let's give this a break. Yeah, right, peace and love. I guess you heard no Trixie tonight. We got comments on the real clown. Oh, I see there are comments there. Holy cow. All right. I should go have some dinner. Yes. You're going to be taking the clown's pants off at 20 likes. Ah. I think it's time for guitar practice. But one in the chat if you want to hear what happened last night during guitar practice. Two in the chat if you do not want to hear what happened last night during guitar practice. Story time? Yes, it is the jogger. You like story time? I'm only on page 5. It's a great story. I think I got to smoke some more. I'm going to go play guitar real quick. 3 in the chat if I should never mention what happened during guitar practice last night. Lessons were learned. Lines were drawn in the sand. But I'm going to smoke more because, as you know, it is a warm, woolly blanket that protects my brain from the harsh realities of this life. You like that? I coined that phrase. You didn't think I heard you, madness. You're like, that old location almost had a tornado. We would have gotten Carla to the bookstore. But I did hear that. I heard you. Yeah. My warm, woolly blanket protecting my brain from the very harsh realities of what happens during guitar practice. You would not believe. And what is the association with Sad and JoJo is what everyone's asking. Of course, things happen during guitar practice, right? But how are Sad and JoJo somehow associated with this? If either Sad or JoJo shows up, I'll say. Otherwise, no. No. No, 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 no. Yes, Sad and JoJo are somehow attached to what happened during guitar practice. Yes. It might have had something to do with OM as well, but that's all speculation and rumors. Rumors and speculation. Oh, it's deep. It's real deep. It is real deep. You know, I'm in this relationship with my guitar. Oh, I like how you and Terry had me getting my pants off in that last stream. Oh, don't worry, Frank. We're already adulted. You can do it. And Cherry's like, oh no, I got to go take care of the garden. She's got like one eye on there. I had to do it. I had to get the pants off. We got to get to 20 likes to get the clown's pants off. All right, you guys. Cherry's like, when are they coming off, man? I don't know what's going on these days. The streams, they're not the same as what they used to be. Fuck. The hell. It all started with Robot Andy, and when he was in his shorts. Remember those streams? The garden streams, they were so great. We were listening to the birds. We were watching the trees bloom. Remember that? Remember? And then Robot, and he was even growing tomatoes and everything. And then he walked out in front of the camera with these shorts on. Remember that? Remember those Australian shorts? Robot hat on. Oh my God, I'm cracking myself up. You know it's bad. Oh, Cherry's here. Cherry. Oh, we tried to link Cherry to the old Robot in a short stream. I don't know what shorts he had on. I think they were his underwear, madness. I think he was out there in his underwear. Robot has never mentioned what shorts he had on. I think they were like a khaki color, though. They're probably gardening shorts. Where's Robot to answer these questions? Welcome, Sherry! Oh, Sherry, I'm thinking about sending you one of these clowns. You should probably have both, but I think I would have regret. I still haven't made up my mind, girl. You just said you love them, though, and that's the first step. They need to be with someone who loves them. You know what I mean? It needs to be true love. See the tear? See the tear on the clown? He needs true love. And the other one needs to be loved too and told that it's pretty. You're good. You're good, Sherry. Yeah. This one needs love and the other one needs to be told that it's pretty. And you got to tell it that its eyes are symmetrical. Not even Trixie will tell the clown that its eyes are symmetrical. You have the teardrop? This one's real. I think it's loose. Look. Oh, no, it's not loose. It's tied at both ends. Tears of a clown. It needs love. Clown, don't say anything if you need love. Just cry. You can tell it needs love. These clowns have been known to scare people, man. I wish I had filmed the process of acquiring these. Anyway, that was my thought. Figuring on ways to bless people. Maybe at some point I can get one or two of these to you. Oh, I see. The tear is gangster. I see. It's a gangster clown. I never thought of it like that. I see. Dang. Now that takes it to another level. That's another level kind of stuff. Anyway, Sherry, if we get to 20 likes, we're going to take off the clown's pants. Oh, yeah, it's deep. Now that you look at it that way, the clown is very serious now. Yeah, isn't it crazy? This one actually has a tear. Let me fix his hair. There, that's better. You guys, in years from now, you'll be like, remember the clown streams? Remember Frank's creepy clown streams? All right, I'll be back, you guys. I'll be back. Go ahead and chat amongst yourselves. Resort. That's good. That's good. Yeah, I know, robot. You got it. I know you got it. You do a lot of stuff with that, you know? do you need, though? You want a treat? Go get you a treat, bro. Come on. Want that treat? Hey now, what we got? We got Stalls up in the house. Sherry, Rob Cute, Pip Zed. Oh yeah, Pip stopped in. Hell yeah. Give me something to watch. All right, you are just in time. All right, I was going to read more of this book. Anyone want me to read the book? Oh, here it is. Wahoo told him the name of the TV show. Not him, Mickey Cray snorted. I've heard stories about that jerk. Well, how does $1,000 sound? Wahoo asked. Pretty darn sweet. That's $1,000 a day, Wahoo. Let that sink in. If you want, I'll call him back and give him Stiggy's number. But don't be a knucklehead, Wahoo's father rose off the sofa and gave him a hug. You did good, son. We'll make this work. Absolutely, said Wahoo, trying to sound confident. Oh, chapter 2. I should have finished off that chapter. Who's ready for chapter 2? You got your glow sticks. Robot had a nice garden, man. We were all surprised. We didn't think he had the garden until he showed it, and it was nice. He had tomatoes, is what I remember. Let's see if I can pull this out. Chapter 2. Hundreds of iguanas had died and tumbled from the treetops during the big freeze in southern Florida. As far as Wahoo knew, his dad was the only person who had been seriously hurt by one of the falling reptiles. Mickey Cray had been standing with a cup of hot cocoa beneath the coconut palm in the backyard when the dead lizard had knocked him stiff. Later, after he was brought home from the hospital, Mickey had ordered Wahoo to search the property, capture any iguanas that had survived the frigid weather, and relocate them to an abandoned orchard farm half a mile away. Wahoo hadn't searched very hard. It wasn't the fault of the iguanas that they had froze to death. They weren't meant to be living this far north. But Miami pet dealers had been importing baby specimens from the tropics for decades. The customers who bought them had no idea they would grow 6 feet long, eat all the flowers in the garden, then leap into the swimming pool and poop. No, I didn't think you were faking about the garden. I was talking about Robot. I was talking about Robot Andy. We didn't know he had a garden. We knew he had a yard, but the garden was off to the right. It's once he loosened up the camera shot that we got to see the garden. I think it came up or something about the tomatoes, and that's when we got to see the garden. He had a tight camera shot. When you tuned in, it was the same shot every time, basically, in that property. Yeah. Well, the loose camera shot is what allowed us to see the shorts. Because the other shot wasn't on the garden, it was on a tree, which if I'm not mistaken, was a Royal Poinciana. He had a beautiful property. And remember, they're opposite. So when it was summer here, it was winter there. But once he showed us the tomatoes, we knew. Yeah, Robot had a tight shot. You only got to see what he showed you. That was it. This is back in the day. People protected their privacy, you know. Trixie's at home. Yep. Trixie's at home. I don't think she likes band practice. So, I don't know if you guys heard me out there sounding terrible. She's at home, man. She had the chance to come over tonight. She didn't want to. Too much loud music. It's tax day. One of her favorite restaurants had a special for $10.99. So I was going to go get it. Tax day, $10.99. But it didn't work out. It didn't work out. I don't think she likes my guitars. Trixie, if you're out there, why don't you let us know? I don't think she likes my guitars. No, 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 no. All right, let's get back to the story. Wahoo hadn't searched very hard. It wasn't the fault of the iguanas that they had frozen to death. They weren't meant to be living so far north, but Miami pet dealers had been importing baby specimens from the tropics for decades. The customers who bought them had no idea they would grow 6 feet long, eat all the flowers in the garden, and leap in the swimming pool and poop. When that rude reality set in, the unhappy owners would drive their pet lizards to the nearest park and set them free. Before long, South Florida was crawling with hordes of big, wild iguanas that were producing hordes of little wild iguanas. The cold snap had put an end to that, at least temporarily. On the first morning of summer vacation, Wahoo found his father in the backyard scanning the trees. "See any, Pop?" "All clear," Mickey Cray reported. Although months had passed since the accident, he was still paranoid about getting clobbered with another falling lizard. "You must be feeling better," Wahoo remarked. He was pleased to see his dad up and moving around so early. "My headache's gone," Mickey announced. Wahoo said, "No way. All those pills that the doctors made me swallow, they didn't do a darn thing. Then all of a sudden I wake up and boom, it's like a miracle," Mickey shrugged. "Some things just can't be explained, son." But Wahoo had a theory that his father had been cured by 5 simple words: $1,000 a day. Mickey said, "Go fetch some lettuce for Gary and Gail." Gary and Gail were two ancient Galapagos tortoises that Wahoo's dad had purchased from a zoo in Sarasota many years ago, when he was new to the wildlife business. These days, they weren't in much demand for them in TV nature shows for Gary and Gail because tortoises were not exactly dynamic performers. Mickey Cray kept them around mainly for sentimental reasons. Each of the animals were more than a century old, and he didn't trust any of the other wranglers to treat them properly. The night before the big freeze, Mickey had gone out back and carefully cloaked Gail and Gary with heavy quilts so they wouldn't die. Wahoo had watched from his bedroom window. "I don't suppose he's interested in these two," Mickey muttered, while the tortoises munched loudly on their lettuce. "No, they said he wants Alice," said Wahoo, "and a major python." They were talking about their famous new client, Derek Badger. He was the star of Expedition Survival, one of the most popular shows on cable. Every week, Derek would parachute into some gnarly wilderness teeming with fierce animals, venomous snakes and disease-carrying insects. Armed with only his Swiss knife and a straw, he would hike, climb, and crawl, paddle, or swim back to civilization, or until he was rescued. Along with that way, he would eat bugs, rodents, worms, even fungus on a tree bark. The grosser it looked, the happier Derek Badger was to stuff it in his cheeks. Wahoo and his dad watched Expedition Survival, often enough to know that most of the wildlife scenes were faked. They were also aware that no one time was Derek's life actually in danger, since he was always accompanied by a camera crew packing food, candy, sunblock, water, first aid supplies, and most likely a large gun. "Derek's never done a show in the Everglades," Wahoo said to his father. "They said his hemoglobin's pain in the butt, this guy. Just be nice, Pop. It's a lot of money." Mickey promised to behave. "So when we get to meet the man himself, the assistant is supposed to stop by later. What kind of python do they want? Burmese? African rock?" "Who said? Honestly, I don't know it matters." They set to work building a pen for the young bobcat that was being delivered from a ranch in the Highlands country. The cat had been struck by a jeep and suffered a broken leg that wouldn't mend, so it could never be released back into the wild. Mickey had agreed to raise the animal, and he hoped to make it tame enough to TV work. Let's check and see. Why didn't you deliver it for her and then leave? No, no, no. No, no. Oh, no. No, no, no. No, no. Mickey Cray had agreed to raise the animal and hoped to make it tame enough for TV work. Bobcats were strong, meaning the pen had to be sturdy. Wahoo knew that a person with double vision shouldn't be using a nail gun, so he put his dad in charge of measuring and cutting the chicken wire. By noon, Mickey's headaches had come roaring back, and he was in misery. Wahoo steered him to the house and made him lie on the couch and fed him 4 aspirins. Minutes later, somebody started knocking at the front door. Mickey raised up and said, "That's probably the guy with the bobcat." Wahoo looked out the window and saw a woman with shining stacked red hair. She wore tan shorts and jeweled sandals, and she was carrying a leather briefcase. "No cat," he said to his father. "Well, open the door." "But what if she's from the bank?" Wahoo whispered. The Crays were months behind on their mortgage payments. Mickey peeked out the window. "She's definitely not from the bank." Wahoo invited the woman inside. She introduced herself as Raven Stark. "I'm Derek Badger's production assistant," she said. "I brought your content." "Excellent," said Mickey, who noticed that Raven Stark had a strong accent. He tried not to stare at her hairdo, which looked like a sculpture made of red chrome. She asked, "May I take a look around?" "Nope. said Wahoo's father. Raven Stark seemed surprised. First, you got to sign a release form, Mickey said. I don't want to get sued if you fall into the gator pond or get bit. She laughed. I've been doing this a long time, Mr. Cray. You sign the release, my son will be happy to give you the grand tour. A few years earlier, Mickey Cray had invited Wahoo's elementary school class to come see his wild animals. A boy named Tingley had ignored Wahoo's warning and reached into one of the cages to tug the tail of a grumpy raccoon, which had spun around and clawed the kid's arm so badly that it looked like a road map of Hialeah. Mickey paid for Tingley's doctor bills, though not before telling his parents that their boy was dumb as a box of rocks. Ever since then, Mickey's insurance company insisted that everyone who came on the property had to fill out a legal form saying it wasn't Mickey's fault if they got hurt. While Raven Stark signed the release, Mickey signed the contract from extradition survival. Wahoo noticed that he scrawled his name crookedly below the line where it was supposed to go, which meant his eyesight was still jumbled. How long is the shoot going to take? Mickey asked. Raven Stark said, until we get it right. Wahoo's dad looked pleased. So it's $1,000 a day, plus location fees and the animal rentals. Correct. She took the envelope from her purse and handed it to him. Here's $800 as a deposit. Mickey counted the cash and then turned to Wahoo. Son, go show this fine lady whatever she wants to see. Because it was going to be an Everglades show, Raven Stark was keenly interested in Alice the alligator. Wahoo led her to the pond and unlocked the gate. Raven whistled. That's a monster, huh? 12 feet, said Wahoo. How much? $150 a foot. So that's 800 even, Raven said. No problem. Wahoo couldn't wait to tell his father. Do you have another one that's smaller? Asked Raven. Yes, ma'am. Something Derek could wrestle, maybe? Wrestle? Maybe a 4-footer, Raven said. 5 feet max? I'll have to check with Pop. Wahoo foresaw trouble. His father didn't like anyone messing with the animals. Where are your pythons? Raven asked. Wahoo led her to the heavy glass tanks where the constrictors were kept. South Florida had become infested with huge exotic snakes, like iguanas, had been imported for the pet trade. Hurricane Andrew had blown apart several large reptile farms and scattered the pythons and boa constrictors all over the place. Derek wants a beast, Raven stated. Who showed a 14-footer that had been captured while devouring an opossum and dumpster behind the DeLand Mall? The man who found the snake was supposed to turn it over to state game officers, but instead, he sold it to Mickey Cray for $300. Raven agreed he was an impressive specimen. But can he be handled safely? It's a she, Wahoo said. And she's a biter. Oh. Pop can work with her. She'll be okay. I hope so, Raven Stark. How much? $700 for the day. Wahoo tried to sound steady and businesslike. He wasn't used to handling the money. Chapter 3. What up? All right. I think it's time to shave, brush, and floss. I'm sensing a shave, brush, and floss. Oh, thank you, Stalls. This is a story called Chomp by a writer called Carl Hyacin. Stalls, if you listen to audiobooks, this one's available for your long rides. It's called Chomp. We just hit chapter 3. It's an incredible book, takes place in Florida. I think you'll really enjoy it. By Carl Hyacin. It's available on audio, probably for free. Yeah, stalls. If you see Surf Dog reading, reading on the stream, you know where he got it. So yeah. Yeah, you like the stories, fellas. If you do the audiobooks. Only the toes knows.